Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor, as well as education advisor. As always, like every week on a Tuesday, coming live from the city of Hamilton here in New Zealand. It's been a, I won't say good week for us, but we are slowly settling back into our normal routines and kind of, getting on with our lives after those terrible terror attacks in Christchurch, and we're getting back to some kind of semblance of normalcy. The world has received our reaction very well and has kind of almost in unison praised the way that the government of New Zealand and the people of New Zealand responded to this terror attacks, absolutely unprecedented terror attacks here in New Zealand. But hey, look, we're all coping and, kind of coming back to our semblance of normality. There has been a lot of love and affection, outpourings of love and affection for the Muslim community here in New Zealand. And I think it was a very good demonstration of the kind of intrinsic values and care that New Zealand has as a society, especially because, this particular broadcast, by virtue of the fact that I'm a licensed immigration advisor, and there's my license as always before we start these broadcasts, because these discussions are all essentially about immigration. I think it was a fantastic week to demonstrate how inclusive New Zealand is as a society to welcome new people, new cultures, new thoughts, and other ideas into this beautiful country. So I think it was a good demonstration after the sadness of this appalling incident of terror that we had in New Zealand. So, yeah, I mean, we're kind of getting back to some kind of normalcy now. And like I said, please do not lose your faith in New Zealand as a destination. If you are planning to migrate to New Zealand or to come and study here in New Zealand and then go on to work and hopefully acquire your residency and PR in New Zealand, please do not lose faith in this beautiful country. That was a complete aberration perpetrated by an outsider who came and did an act of terror in New Zealand. All right, let's get on with the questions and answers like every week. And my wonderful team supports me as always on Skype. And so my request to all the people who are part of this conversation today, of this dialogue today, would be to please share your telephone numbers so that our team can come back to you and address your queries. And as I keep telling always, we are not some monsters who will pounce on you and say, okay, because you shared your telephone number, we are now going to pounce onto you and hound you till you come to New Zealand. Absolutely not. We are not people like that, guys. But hey, look, I sit here and give a lot of free information, and it'll be awesome if you can share your contact numbers. We will give you our information, and if you think New Zealand is the right destination for you, we would be more than happy to assist you to come and become part of this wonderful country here, whether as a excuse me, international student or as a migrant in New Zealand. All right, or both. You could come as an international student and then go on to become a permanent resident of New Zealand, or a PR, as most of you would like to call it. Okay, on with the questions now, without wasting a lot of time. First question is from excuse me, guys. I also have a bad throat. I think I have a cold coming on, so forgive my throat clearances throughout the session today. All right. Prajapati Minesh asks, without IELTS, any chedi visa? Okay, Prajapati, that's a very interesting question, because the IELTS or the International English Language Testing System, or some of the other tests like PTE, for instance, which is the Pearson's test of English, they are considered to be important and almost mandatory, both for admission as well as for visa purpose in New Zealand. In fact, only today I was listening to a webinar from Education New Zealand, because we are a recognized agency, and so we were invited to be part of this webinar conducted by some of the senior officers of Education New Zealand. One of the university representatives was saying IELTS may not be required for admission at the undergraduate level. That is, if you're planning to come for a bachelor's and those kinds of levels. But I think it becomes important at the postgraduate level. The other important thing, I think, the reason why Immigration Department of New Zealand looks at an IELTS is because when you're coming to study in an English-speaking country like New Zealand, they want to ensure that you will be successful as a student, and that's the reason they ask for an IELTS. It's not to any other reason, because you're obviously putting in a lot of money and time and effort to come into New Zealand and be an international student. And if you do not have the adequate English skills, which would be reading, writing, speaking, listening, you're bound to fail. And that's the reason the government would like to test you for English, test you for the affordability, whether you actually genuinely have the money, test you for your sincerity, whether you're a genuine student, a bona fide student in terms of having good, clean, honest, authentic documents. So these are all some of the things they test you for, because a lot of people do tend to utilize education as a pathway towards work. Nothing wrong with it, unless and until till, of course, such a time that you actually complete your study successfully first, and then yeah, sure, go ahead and work, because the government itself is giving a 1, 2, or 3 years post-study work visa. So nothing wrong in coming with the aspiration of working, but not while you're still a student. Okay, so which is the reason I think a study visa without IELTS is something that the government wouldn't look at very positively. But hey, look, get in touch with our team, and we will examine to see what your background is, and then we'll take it forward from there. All right. Or Magdur Tahir Shah asked me what's my WhatsApp number. Magdur, I'm actually not on WhatsApp. I know a lot of you guys might think that, hey, here's this guy who comes live on Facebook and YouTube. By the way, guys, I'm coming live on both Facebook and YouTube, and I want my team to tell me if both the feeds are working all right, and let me know that there is no problems with the broadcast. But yeah, I mean, for a guy who utilizes online quite a bit, I'm actually not on WhatsApp for, I think, some personal reasons. Also because I think there's just too much of nonsense that gets forwarded on WhatsApp. But hey, look, if you guys want to get in touch with us, if you are based in India, which is where a lot of our students come from, we actually have set up a toll-free number for you guys. Or if you're not based in India, you can just email us info@ajbglobal.com. If you're already present in New Zealand and you have you need some help for further visas like work visas or resident visas, you can get in touch with our senior manager called Mary, who also is a licensed immigration advisor like me, and that's her number at the bottom. Or you can just email Mary at immigrationadvisor@ajvglobal.com, and we'll pick it up and we will give you all the details that you want. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not a guy who is on WhatsApp, but hey, look, I'm always on Facebook. So, warm welcome to all of you to connect with me on Facebook. While talking about Facebook, I think also maxed out my number of friends that I can have, which is 5,000 on Facebook. So if sometimes I'm not adding some of you as friends, please do not think that I dislike you, or it's just that I'm maxed out on the number of people I can add on Facebook. All right, cool. Bibin Babu asked, sir, can you tell which course is better to do after engineering in New Zealand to get a PR? I like the way all these questions all come with PR at the end of it, and it's almost like that you have no real intention towards the studies per se, but it's just always the end goal that is very important, which is the PR. And I have no problems with it, because hey, look, you are investing a lot of time, money, and effort to be able to come into New Zealand, get a good education, and then get your post-study work visa, pick up a relevant job, make an application for a resident visa, and then eventually become a permanent resident or a PR, as you guys keep saying. But please stay focused on the first step, which is to be a good international student, because if you do not pass that course, then the rest of the things will not happen, because you will not get your post-study work visa, and so everything else will collapse. It's like the domino effect. But as far as what course to choose, Bibin, because you already have completed engineering, is my assumption from your query, I think what you've got to do is look at continuing something further in engineering, because as you guys are aware, we have long-term skill shortage lists in New Zealand, and engineering is absolutely on one of those core subject areas that where we are trying very, very hard as a country to attract people, young people, to come and join our engineering workforce. And I think it is brilliant strategy from the government of New Zealand to introduce this post-study work visa, because not only do international students, with a background like yourself in engineering, come in with your ready skills, but you invest money into our economy and into our international education sector. So you're boosting our economy there. And then after you complete, you pick up your post-study work visa, start working, and then you pay taxes. So you're boosting our economy again. And then if you guys do find that relevant job to your engineering, you will also go on to work in our engineering sector where we have a skill shortage. So again, you're boosting the economy. So I think it's a beautiful give and take, because what you guys are giving are your skills, and what you take back in return is the ability to live and work and call yourself residents and citizens of New Zealand, which is absolutely one of the most amazing countries on earth. So hey, look, it works both way for us. Thanks for sharing your number, Bibin, and excuse me, guys. We'll definitely have one of our people get in touch with you and put some engineering courses in front of you. All right, cool. All right. Hello, Nova. Susan Isaac says, hello, sir. It's been 12 weeks since my application submission. No updates yet. Will there be any action soon? Hey, Nova, I know this has become a terrible, terrible issue, not just for you, Nova, but for a lot of other students. And quite frankly, we are not happy about it either. And there has been a terrible, terrible delay from the immigration department. And I think I've explained this earlier, but I will reiterate it again for for people like yourself and everybody else who's probably listening. And Immigration New Zealand has gone through a reorganization. They have closed down certain offices. They have tried to consolidate some of these visas into particular offices, but there's still a bit of confusion, and that is exactly where the delay has occurred, Nova. But our team, we are sending constant reminders to the immigration department. The problem is we can't get too pushy, because if we get too pushy, then your visa applications will suffer. So we've got to maintain that fine balance of being pushy on your behalf, but also being soft on your behalf again. So we've got to be very careful, because if we push too hard, sometimes it's easy for a visa officer just to say, oh, these people are putting too much pressure, so let me find some problem with this visa application and decline. I mean, although they don't do it in such an arbitrary fashion, but hey, look, especially as somebody who is offshore, and if your visa gets declined, you do not even have the right to appeal. So it gets a little messy, and that's the reason we are trying to patiently do this. In fact, we even asked for an appointment with the head of the immigration department in Mumbai, which is where all the student visa applications are being processed. And my team in India, including some of the senior people, which includes some ex-immigration officers, were supposed to go and meet the head of immigration in Mumbai, but unfortunately, because of the Christchurch terror attacks, that particular meeting got postponed. But we are doing everything possible from our side, Nova. Please be patient. Unfortunately, that I understand how you feel, but we are trying to get it moving forward. All right. We are even involving our licensed immigration advisors, me included, and we'll hope to get some answer for you, Nova. So please be patient. If we are not getting too pushy, it's for your own good, and so please bear with us and please be patient. Ashu Pradhan asks, hello, sir, is it worth doing level 7 course from Unitec in information technology? He shared this number. Hey, Ashu, thanks for sharing your number. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think the answer to all of them is it worth doing a level 7 course from Unitec and IT? Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, especially because I don't know what course you're coming from, because level 7 can be a bachelor's, a level 7 can also be a graduate diploma. I don't know what you have chosen, but if you're planning to do a bachelor's, definitely worth it, because after you do a bachelor's in New Zealand at level 7, you will get a 3-year post-study work visa. Unitec is a good institution. Information technology is in our long-term skill shortage area. So overall, it's a good combination. If you're not coming for a level 7 bachelor's, though, I would probably, and if you're coming for, let's say, a level 7 graduate diploma, I'd probably recommend to look something outside Auckland, because you will then get an extra year of post-study work visa. So that would be my advice to you, which is if you're going for a bachelor's in Auckland at Unitec in IT, no problem. But if you're not going for a bachelor's and instead you're going for a graduate diploma in IT, then I would strongly recommend that you look elsewhere and not in Auckland, because you will get an extra 1 year of post-study work visa, which could be massive, guys. Because and girls, one more extra year means you have that extra time to be able to find yourself relevant work and go on to become a fruitful and successful a resident and a future citizen of New Zealand. All right, you can call yourself a Kiwi. Hi, I'm Mohsen Syed says, hi, I am offshore skilled migrant applicant without job offer. So I'll get a 1 year work visa. I had claimed 175 points, submitted my application in 28 in December, waiting for case officer to be assigned. Need guidance for following, and it's just very long, and it just goes on and on. Okay, but Mohsen, while we are offering a lot of free advice rather, in this particular forum, I think yours is very clearly a full-on immigration question and very, very long. And please understand, at the end of the day, we are also a business, and yes, we will, gladly offer a little bit of advice. But yours is a full-on, question. May I recommend that you actually email that whole question to that one, or that email address there, and that'll come to our licensed. Oops, am I getting? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right. If you can email it to that particular email address, Mohsen, your whole entire question, we will pick it up there, because I think you're clearly seeking immigration advice, for which we charge money, because we are a business. We are not a charity. So I think we need to make it very clear to everybody. So yeah, go ahead and email, and we'll take a look, and we'll. But in this particular forum, I cannot waste a lot of my time trying to discuss a very elaborate migration question, especially coming from somebody who has already submitted the application. So to me, that looks like a very commercial sort of a situation, where we will need to, probably do a paid consultation with you, and then take it forward from there. Okay, so we guys can, answer a couple of questions here, but we can't get into full-fledged immigration advice, because we've got to earn some money too. I have this beautiful big team of people. We are almost 30 people. We were 35 or more than that, but now we've kind of trimmed it down nicely to about 30 people. So we guys also all have to run our families, earn our money, earn our salaries. So please, guys, we'll appreciate if you support us with your business. Right, I'm just looking at some of the feedback from our team, and and Susan, I have some feedback from my team that initially you were looking for the January, February, March intake, but now it's going for the April intake. So we have some time, Susan, so we should be able to come back and get it out for you. All right, yeah. Nazmul Kabir, is there any chance to get PR if I do PhD in business management level 8? How is job market for business student? Hey, Nazmul, it doesn't matter whether you're doing a course in business management or engineering or IT or food technology or 3D animation, so on and so forth. So the point, like I said, all you guys and girls seem to be fixated on the end goal, which is the permanent residency, or PR, as most of you call it. But as I keep saying, it is a gradual process. It is a step after step after step thing. So yeah, so the first step is to get into a good course in a good college in a good city through a good consultant, and then go on and finish that course, and then be able to get your post-study, finish that course successfully, and go on and get a relevant job, and that can eventually lead to PR. And so I also have feedback, Nazmul, that you're kind of just seeking a lot of information from us and not really progressing forward from there. So it'll be nice if you can move to the next stage and engage with my team and so that we can talk to you as somebody who is committed to each other. Because if you commit to become our client, then of course we will commit all our information and services from our side, not just now, but even if we come to New Zealand. So hey, look, it's got to be a two-way street, my friend. So come on, Nazmal, pick up that phone and talk to my team, and we'll take it forward from there. All right, go. Okay, Jagannath Savkar. Hello, dear Arun. This Jagannath, and I'm an AJV student. Hey, thanks, Jagannath. Always a pleasure to say hello to my own AJV students. Can you please explain the major difference between graduate diploma and postgraduate diploma, and also how these two diplomas are considered globally? Thanks in advance. Good question, actually. So New Zealand education system is, starts from 1 and goes all the way up to 10. 1 would be like your certificates, and then 10 would be your PhD. So as you keep going up, you normally end up hitting the diplomas from around 5. So 5, 6 are normally diplomas. 5, 6, 7 will become a bachelor's. 7 is sometimes also a graduate diploma, which is almost like, a graduate diploma, Jagannath, is almost like if, let's say, you've already done a bachelor's. So this is almost like an extra year that you're doing. But the interesting thing about the graduate diploma, and this is the most interesting, I actually like the graduate diplomas because they're very cool. Because, for instance, I can, there, you see that certificate right in the middle there? Okay, that's a level, that's a level 7 graduate certificate in New Zealand immigration advice. And so the thing about graduate diplomas is that graduate diplomas can only be offered to somebody who is already a graduate. So that particular certificate of mine, which is hanging on the wall behind my head, is it's called a graduate certificate in New Zealand immigration advice, and I could do it only because I already am a graduate. I already have a BCom honors. But the interesting thing about the graduate diplomas and certificates is that a graduate, let's say I am a commerce graduate, but I did something in immigration advice. So that's the a good thing about graduate diplomas, is that you can actually shift your subject. So that is what the graduate diploma is. Now the postgraduate diploma is at the next level, which is at level 8. So the postgraduate diploma, so the graduate diploma essentially is like one more year to your bachelor's, and the postgraduate diploma is essentially like the first year of a master's. So for instance, if you're planning to do a 2 years master's, the first year is technically your postgraduate diploma. So that's really where the difference is. So the postgraduate diploma is at the next level as against the level 7 graduate diploma. And yeah, I hope I have answered your question. If you have more queries, please continue to speak to your AJB advisor, and we will take it forward from there. All right, cool. Agia Umang. Sorry, it's Agja Umang. Which careers and college should I pursue after diploma in civil engineering from India? And shares the number. Which colors? I can't make out what do you mean by colors. You're probably meaning course. If you already have completed a diploma in civil engineering from India, you could potentially look at doing a graduate diploma, because sometimes a diploma can be considered equally, it could be equal, considered as an equivalent to a degree. I just got some feedback, Ajay, that you're not responding to my colleague called Neha, who's been trying to get in touch with you. So it'll be nice, Ajay, if you can actually, when my team member tries to get in touch with you, please speak to her. Her name is Neha. She's one of our advisors, and somebody who's very competent, just like the rest of us. And so it'll be good. But as far as your question is concerned, after completing a diploma in civil engineering from India, we would like to put some options in front of you. I think more than likely we should be able to get you into a graduate diploma. But if your diploma in civil engineering from India is actually at an advanced level, and if, let's say, you also have some experience, probably we could even look at going higher than a graduate diploma. But we can only help you, Ajay. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. If you are able to, get in touch with us and speak to us, and I mean, come on, guys and girls, that's the least we need to have as a conversation. There's got to be a two-way conversation. so that when we are said willing to give a lot of free information, advice, and service to you guys, the least we can expect from you as a courtesy is at least speak to us. There's no hard and fast rule. Just because you speak to us, it means then you're somehow committed with us for the rest of your life. Absolutely not. I would say, hey, look, just take it nice and easy. We do exactly the same thing because we do get a lot of inquiries. So it does not matter. I mean, in fact, I'm being totally truthful and honest with you. Out of every 100 people who speak to us, probably only 10 or 12 eventually end up actually engaging with us seriously, and the other 88 or 90 kind of just fade away. And it doesn't matter to us because our job as honest, committed New Zealand education and migration promoters is to give that information to as many people as we can. And we understand not everybody will come back and engage with us or converse with us. So that's fine, guys. So do not get perturbed about sharing your number or speaking to people. It just might go on to change your life. So look at the positives. But if you say, hey, look, I'm not interested, we quite happily say, okay, thank you very much, and that's it. We will not come back and trouble you any longer. All right. Okay, SpongeBob on LSD. I remember his name. I wonder if one of my team should give me a directive whether I go ahead and answer that particular question. Shajir Zahar says, hi, sir. How to apply there? I'm not sure apply for what, Shajir, but that's your starting point. You can just send us your email and or just pick up the phone if you're based in India and call that toll-free number. If you're not based in India, then hey, look, just send us an email and we'll pick it up from there. All right, cool. Alan Isaac, hi, sir. I work in Dubai and now I want to move to New Zealand and work there. So is it possible to get a job there directly? Okay, Alan, I have a YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and search for Arun Jacob, New Zealand, hopefully this face will pop up and you'll be able to recognize me. So one of my most popular videos on that particular channel is the one where it says, can I find a job in New Zealand or an internship in New Zealand? And unfortunately, it is not easy to find a job in New Zealand or an internship. And I have explained it in that particular video. I request you to go and check that particular video, and it tells you why it is not easy, because a lot of local employers are not very comfortable offering a job offer, making a job offer to somebody who is not present in the country or does not have the legal ability to work in the country. So, they don't want to mess with these immigration rules and stuff like that. So, but then, hey, look, people like us, licensed immigration advisors and a company like AJV, we can suggest other alternatives. For instance, one of the most popular pathways that we keep promoting to all our students all the time, to our clients all the time who are desirous of migrating to New Zealand, is we tell you that, hey, look, if direct work or direct migration is not possible in New Zealand, utilize the pathway of education. And I think the government has very, very cleverly devised this particular pathway where we first get you in as an international student into the country. And after you complete your course successfully, you actually get a post-study work visa. And then you can go on to pick up a relevant job and then get your residency and your further work visa. So I think it's a beautiful pathway that has been created. And so that's why we encourage people to utilize that particular pathway. Will everybody be successful? I don't, obviously not. But if you have the right attitude, skills, and knowledge, most definitely you'll be able to succeed. All right, Alan. So my team will get in touch with you, give you a call, say hello to you, have a chat with them, and discuss whether the study plus settle pathway is the one most applicable to your situation. I know a lot of you will say, "Oh wow, do I have to go back and study again now? Do I have to invest $20,000?" But guys, understand that that $20,000 that you invest is something you'll probably earn back in the first 1 year after you complete your course, because you're going to get a full-time post-study work visa. So I frankly, and I'm not trying to do a hard sell on you guys and girls, but I frankly think it's not such a big investment. If somebody tells me that, hey, look, you invest $20,000 and you can get a future for yourself and your family in a beautiful country like New Zealand, I don't think it's such a big deal, to be honest. So don't balk at the idea of thinking, oh, but there's an investment to be made. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hey, look, no pain, no gain, guys and girls. So you'll have to make some investments of time, money, and effort. And that's when you can hope to, go on and live and call yourself future residents or citizens of this beautiful country called New Zealand. So, all right. So that's the way it works, guys. So don't expect returns without any inputs. Okay. So investment is required. So you guys need to, but I can tell you, as a guy who lives here in this country with my family, absolutely worthwhile to make that investment. All right, guys. Cool. Um, Surya Prakash asks, why is New Zealand immigration taking a long time for processing student visa application? I applied on February 6th. Surya, I just answered that question rather elaborately to Nova, Susan, Isaac, please. So if you don't mind, just go back a little bit and rewind this thing a little bit, this broadcast, and you should be able to get the answer. Just a bit of, internal adjustments with ING at the moment, because of which I think there's been a bit of a delay. Latest news is that they are trying to get more staff members into the Mumbai office so that they'll be able to address the situations a lot better. But hey, look, like any organization, I think they're going through a bit of a thing. So yeah, cool. Next question is from Krishni Ratnaike. Is it possible to work part-time? 20 hours with interim visa while processing second year student visa. Hey, Krishna, your interim visa conditions will be clearly mentioned. And if you were already on a student visa, and if you're now on an interim, more than likely you will not be allowed to. But take a look at your interim visa conditions, because along with that, they also give a box which explains what if you were on a previous visa, what conditions were there, and whether your interim will allow you to do it or not. Most likely it will not. But hey, look, just take a closer look at your interim visa. All right, cool. Okay, O'Neill, my good friend, says, my testimonial towards AJV is only positive to all students looking to study in New Zealand. AJV is the only way to go. Very helpful team at AJV, especially when you're in New Zealand. Hey, O'Neill, thank you so much. I really appreciate the fact you do come on to those live sessions week after week and lend us your kind support. Truly appreciate that. And hey, look, at the end of the day, as an organization, there's only so much advertising we can do about ourselves. Me and my team, we can only, blow our own trumpets only so much. But it's people like you, who are our clients, who work with us, who are interacting with us, who can tell us and give that feedback. So thank you very much for your kind comments week after week, and we are very, very pleased and grateful for the fact that you are our client, and we commit our long-term support to you and to your wonderful family. All right, cool. Nova says, thank you, sir, for the reply. You're welcome, Nova. So I completely understand and empathize your situation, but like I said, we don't want to get too pushy. You have some time, so I'm sure you'll be able to get your visa out. All right, cool. Okay, Happy Travel says it's a YouTube query. It's a Malaysian number, and which brings up another point, guys. Is that please do not think that AJV Services, for some reason, is a company that's only working with Indian students and Indian clients. I mean, as much as we love our Indian students and our Indian clients, we are a New Zealand company. We are a Kiwi company, and we work with every nationality from everywhere across the world who would be keen to consider New Zealand as a destination for education and for migration. So we're absolutely thrilled to work with everybody from everywhere, which is why it's very cool to see somebody from Malaysia called Happy Travel, pinging us. So do not hesitate to talk to us, irrespective of which part of the world you're in, and we'd be more than happy to help you to come to New Zealand. All right, cool. So question from Happy Travel is, what's the main difference between Australia and New Zealand? Is education and hospitality and tourism management. As in Australia, after studying, cannot apply for a PR and the scholarship. Okay, it's a pretty long question. I think you're asking about differences between Australia and New Zealand. And you know what? I'll probably not do too much of a comparison. I'll just give you the advantages of doing a course in New Zealand. Tourism is our largest industry, so there are tons and tons of people visiting New Zealand year on year, and because of which, obviously, hospitality as a trade, as an occupation, is very high in demand. So, doing a hospitality course in New Zealand will set you up very well towards finding your place in the hospitality industry in New Zealand. So that's number one. And yeah, I mean, the way the whole structure of this the study plus settle pathway has been created is that you do your course, you get a post study work visa, and that post study work visa period, if you're able to get a relevant job to the course you've completed, yeah, more than likely. And if you're getting a salary of 52,000 or more, I mean, more than likely you will end up getting your residency as well. So that's the way it works. Scholarships, yes, there are some scholarships, not a lot of them. So I need to be upfront about it. But hey, look, you get in touch with, when our team gets in touch with you, have a good, nice, long conversation, and they will also put in front of you all the different scholarship options that are available. And yeah, who knows, maybe you will find something there for you. But hey, look, thanks for pinging us from Malaysia. Always a pleasure to talk to people from different parts of the world. Isn't it cool that I sit in Hamilton and I speak to people in different parts of the world, and I find it very cool, guys. Rishabh Malhotra, hello, sir. I'm looking for bachelor's in animation in New Zealand. There's a scope in New Zealand after completing my bachelor's. Finally, somebody who's asking me about animation and not just IT and business. And, well done, Rishabh. Congratulations. You're choosing the right place. Man, come on. New Zealand is the land of Lord of the Rings. And as you are a person who is interested in animation, you are aware that there is a lot of fantastic work happening in New Zealand in the areas of animation and visual effects and motion graphics and so on and so forth. So the government has identified three areas in New Zealand as our future growth areas. So these are called identified future growth areas. So one of them is the creative industries, one is the information technology industry, and then there is the biotechnology industry. So absolutely great choice to come and do a course here in animation. We have some fantastic schools here in New Zealand which offer this, and a lot of our students who came and did courses in animation and visual effects and motion graphics and so on and so forth are doing exceptionally well. In fact, I can proudly say a lot of our students are now working with Veta Digital, and you're an animation guy. So by Veta Digital, you know what I mean. I'm talking about Sir Peter Jackson's company based in Wellington, which was the creator of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and so many other fantastic movies to which they're providing their, expertise in animation and related fields. So absolutely very good scope for you after you complete your studies here, Rishabh, especially if you're coming for a bachelor's. I think it's phenomenal because 3 long years, a lot of people, come here for the short courses. But if you're coming for a bachelor's for 3 long years, by the end of those 3 years, you're practically like a Kiwi because you've lived here, studied here, worked part-time here, done projects here, created your networks, created your friends, so on and so forth. So it'll set you up so beautifully. And the fact is, after you finish that bachelor's, you also get a 3-year post-study work visa. So I mean, hey, look, pretty much assured you will do very, very well here. So thanks for sharing your number. Our team will get in touch with you and we'll take it forward from there. But so happy to see somebody ask me a question about animation. All right, cool. I'm a secret filmmaker, by the way. Yeah. Mohsen Syed says, already emailed to your team, waiting for the response. Team, if you're listening, please respond back to Mohsen Syed. And he goes on to ask, I'm willing to avail your services, but need initial guidance. Hey, happy to provide it, Mohsen. So if you're already in touch with us, we will definitely come back and guide it, give you the guidance and the information that you're looking for. So the way we work is we have advisors who have a team leader, who have a senior manager, then there's a team of licensed immigration advisors, then there is me, and there's a whole, and this team also comprises of about 4 or 5 ex-immigration officers. And I don't want to sound immodest, but we are probably one of the best New Zealand advising companies in the world today. And which is why I started off with a caution saying I don't want to sound immodest, but the amount of experience and expertise we have inside our team is phenomenal. And I don't mean this as the guy who sits and manages this company, but as simply as an external observer who watches this team at work. And like I said, we work in a very cool fashion as well. We all work from home practically, and we interact with our clients pretty much online, and we give you the comfort of working from your homes, and don't have to get into a dusty train and travel 2 hours to go to some silly little office where there are people sitting there who don't even know what they're talking about. Whereas you guys, the smart ones, like all of you watching this right now, can be sitting in the comfort of your home and listening to an expert from New Zealand giving you all the information and tips about how we can come into New Zealand and do it step by step. And my wonderful team is there to back you guys up. So hey, look, Mohsen, so do connect with our team, and at any time they think that, hey, look, this query is very complex, it needs to be bumped up the stairs, it will keep getting bumped up the stairs till it comes to me or to Mary or to Gisela or one of our experts on immigration, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. All right, cool. Ahmed Asif Nimri says, can we work together as an agent? Please answer for my question. I'm not sure, Ahmed, what you mean by can we work together. You haven't mentioned any other details. You've just mentioned that you want to, I have a feeling you want to associate with us in some form or the other. We don't know which country you're from. We don't know what are your business intentions. So, hey, look, you know what? Send us an email to info@ajvglobal.com. Give some details about yourself and your company. Yeah, we might take a look if you're from some interesting country where we're beginning to get some interest. We might possibly be interested to say hello to you and check what are the possibilities. All right, cool. Okay, El host Joes, hi dear, hi dear. Can you explain without IELTS any criteria to go New Zealand? I mean, chance to get any sponsorship from that. Joes, I already explained to some other viewer at the start of this broadcast who asked me a very similar question. In fact, I think today's broadcast started by me trying to explain why IELTS is very important. So if you don't mind, just rewind this broadcast back to the starting bit. I think it's there in the first 5 or 10 minutes, and you should be able to get your answer. Okay. Lizzie Scaria, your office in North India, we can direct contact there. Hey, look, Lizzie, like I said, we are about 30 people. About 3 or 4 of us are based in New Zealand, but the bulk of our team is all based across different cities in India. We have a very strong presence in Mumbai. We have a very strong presence in Delhi, and we have a presence in Hyderabad. We have a presence in Bangalore. So we would be more than happy to connect you to our nearest person in North India. But like I said, we are the kind of people who work in a slightly different manner. We are not in the conventional manner where we ask you to come to our office only, then we will speak to you. Like, frankly, I mean, if you share your number, I'm more than happy to pick up my phone and talk to you from New Zealand and give you all the information and advice that you're seeking. And once you do that, then of course it becomes a documentation process, and then we ask you to scan and send your document from the comfort of your own home or from the comfort of your mobile phone. So we are the cool kids of this industry. We don't believe in the conventional stuff that other people do. We are not bothered what they're doing. We're doing something really, really good in the way we are doing it, and we encourage all our students to understand the benefits of working with somebody like AJV, because we give you the advantage of and the comfort of working from your home in a very at your own convenience kind of a fashion. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because our students are probably some of the happiest coming into New Zealand. And I think, as I keep saying, the most important thing is not what happens before you come into New Zealand, but what happens after you come into New Zealand. I mean, for instance, right now it is about 8:15 in the night in New Zealand, and if let's say one of my students has got an emergency or they've got some very critical immigration query, trust me, they can just pick up the phone and give me or Mary or Virginia or Prakash or one of us a call, and I promise you within the next few hours we would be there to address them and take care of them. So I think that's what sets us really apart from a lot of other people, because first and foremost, we give you the comfort of working wherever you are, and doing a good solid professional process. Please bear in mind, we also have about 90% plus visa success rate. This is published data on the Immigration New Zealand website. So we're doing a lot of things right. So we're more than happy to connect you to one of our colleagues based in North India, but it doesn't matter. You could be talking to me in New Zealand, or to Mary, who lives about 5-10 minutes away from in that distance. So do not worry about having to go and meet somebody in an office. We actually discourage that, because I think it's just a bloody waste of time and effort in this today's age and time, when I could be sitting in Hamilton and talking to 30, 40 people all across the world. So yeah, that's the way we guys got to be working. And please bear in mind, you're also choosing to come to a country called New Zealand, which is very, very high on innovation and ingenuity and stuff like that. So we like to work with people like that as well, who are ingenious and able to see that the way the world is moving is in a new direction, and that's the way you've got to be working. So work with HJV. We are the new direction. We are the New Zealand people. All right. Okay, that's a good tagline. Sumit Sharma. Does MSc and QS construction being in long-term skill shortage list assure high chance of job after completion of degree? Sumit, the simple answer to that is yes. Obviously, I mean, hey, look, QS obviously is. I mean, you're referring to quantity surveying, and absolutely, I think the fact it is called the long-term skill shortage list is because there is a demand, and they're simply not able to find people. That's why the government came out with a list called the long-term skill shortage list, and that's the reason it sits out there on the official website of Immigration New Zealand. So absolutely, the short answer to your question is yes. The chances of finding a job after completion of degree are very good if you do one of these courses. And it will also be much better if you work with a company like AJV, because we guys are based here in New Zealand and we have our contact network. In fact, I can think of at least 6 or 7 students of ours who've done a similar course in construction and already working in the construction industry. So if you're coming into New Zealand as an AJV student, of course we will, connect you to all of them, and through those networks and those contacts, your chances of getting a job would be so much more higher. So it's not just your course, but sometimes it's also the consultant, which is very important. So yeah, absolutely, good course choice, Sumit. But also choose to work with AJV, and we will try and get you to where you want to go. All right, cool. Okay, looking at some feedback from my team. Okay, Rohit Sagwekar, I'm already in contact with one of AJV case person in Mumbai, but I want Arun sir to speak on top and mid-range IT companies and what are the entry-level salary in cloud computing and business analyst. Hey, Rohit, thank you so much for being in touch with one of my colleagues. Really appreciate that, and thank you so much for giving me the importance and the respect of wanting to know my opinion. And please stop calling me Arun sir, guys. And a lot of my team calls me AJ, by the way. That's my popular name. So you guys can all start referring to me as AJ, or you just want to call me Arun. More than happy with that. But thank you so much for the respect, and yeah, I'll be happy to answer your questions. So the top and mid, so New Zealand has got a lot of IT companies, Rohit, which frankly, the size of a lot of these companies won't be very big, but they are constantly looking for people all the time. In fact, recently one of our students found a job with a company here in Hamilton in New Zealand, which is doing some very innovative software development in the agriculture industry and stuff like that. So the top and mid-range IT company in New Zealand, I think you're probably better off looking at Auckland and Wellington as your choices, because that's where the concentration of these companies is. So if you are sticking to one of these two places, I think your chances would be much higher. In fact, I think most of our, if not all our students who are going to Auckland and Wellington are ending up in good jobs, also in other cities as well, Christchurch, but because you are looking specifically at cloud computing and business analysis, I think you'd probably be doing quite well in those areas in these two cities, Rohit. And as far as the entry level salaries are concerned, I think, I mean, at the least you would start off on 55, 60,000 kind of dollars, which by the way is good because at anything that's 52 and above, you would actually then be as soon as you start your job, getting back in touch with us, and we'll be then able to help you to start your resident visa application as well, because 52,000 is the cutoff mark where you can start going in for your resident visa application. So yeah, absolutely. My recommendation to you, Rohit, would be to stick to Auckland or Wellington, and good subjects. Cloud computing and business analysis are both in good demand, and I do believe you will start off at least 55 or 60,000. But hey, look, if you want more information, continue to speak to my colleague, the one you're in touch with. We have a pretty large team of people in Mumbai at the moment, so yeah, we'd be happy to keep giving you more and more information. All right, Rohit, and I hope to see you here in New Zealand soon as an AJV student, and I hope you play cricket because I like to play cricket. I also challenge all my students to play a game of table tennis with me and beat me at it. Anybody beats me in table tennis, and if you're an AJV student, you get a free beer from me. Darshan Aju. Okay, I did my undergraduate in mechanical engineering, working in Accenture for past 3 years. I'm planning for master in engineering management. How is the future of this course? And I have also come across a lot of comments that getting a job in New Zealand is very tough. Can you give your opinion? I'm in touch with your agency through counselor Catherine. Hey, Darshan, thanks for being in touch with my colleague Catherine, which was fantastic. And to answer your questions, you have a very good background already working in Accenture for the last 3 years, and you have an undergraduate in mechanical engineering, and engineering already is in our um, long-term skill shortage list. So definitely, yes, there are a lot of comments about I think on YouTube and some other places where I've seen. In fact, I've made a video about this. Um, Go to my YouTube channel, Darshan, and you'll see in my list of videos that I have some 200 odd videos now. So you'll see that one which says, "My friends tell me I can't find a job in New Zealand. What's your opinion?" or something like that. So there are a lot of people who actually, unfortunately, put up a lot of negative comments about chances and opportunities in New Zealand, and I don't blame them because a lot of them come so unprepared into New Zealand. And when I say unprepared, they come with terrible advice. They come into courses which have nothing to do with their background. They come into a new foreign country, into a new culture with absolutely no support. And their life here becomes a fight for survival from day one. So these guys are so caught up in that whole survival mode that they are not simply not able to do it the right logical way. They land here, they realize their course is wrong, their college is wrong, their city is wrong, their future career is wrong, and it all starts with the right advice. Which is why I'm appreciative of the fact that you are talking to us right now at this stage and taking the time to sit and watch the broadcast and ask a question to an expert like myself sitting here in New Zealand and answering your questions. Fantastic. So people like yourself who come with the right preparation, talking to the right advisors, choosing the right pathway, the right course, Master of Engineering Management, fantastic course. And doing a master's, you'll get a 3 years post-study work visa. And then there are people like us, because you're choosing to work with us, who will then be there to give you that moral support, that courage, that networking ability, and all those kinds of things. With all these things put together, of course, your chances or your probability of success goes up so much more. And that's the kind of decisions that you guys and girls need to be doing, is to work with the right advisors and people who are genuinely committed to your success as much as as we are to our own success. So that's the way it works, guys. And so you got to be making the right choices, and which is why, Darshan, well done. I think you're doing the right thing talking to us, and we'd be delighted to work with somebody like your background. And I mean, also bear in mind, Darshan, we do not and everybody else listening to this broadcast. We do not work with every Tom, Dick, and Harry who picks up the phone and gives us a call and says, "Hey, look, I want to go to New Zealand," because we are constantly evaluating our clients for English, for proper funding, for the sincerity of purpose, and whether their academics and work experience is genuine, and they have the personality to be able to do well in New Zealand. So we kind of, quite frankly, we say we are working with students, but I think we actually are working with future residents and citizens of this country. So uh, work with somebody like us, because we are very committed to your success, to the growth of New Zealand by attracting good quality people into this country, and of course for us to grow as a New Zealand successful organization and become a company that employs a lot of people and provides employment in New Zealand and India and in many other places, and pays its taxes and lives with its head held high. All right. So good choice, Darshan. Well done. Krishna says, thank you. You're welcome, Krishna. Ahmed Asif Nimri says, do you have any office in Sri Lanka? Guys, everybody asking me if I have an office. That's my office. I mean it. I'm serious. I'm not kidding you. I mean, that's my office. We are this absolutely tech savvy. Okay, that was very cool. I can see my own reflection. Okay, we are. I'll stop showing off my phone. We are this absolutely tech savvy, smart, honest, intelligent, uh, professional people working for a progressive, beautiful, awesome country like New Zealand. We don't need a physical office. This is my office. Facebook is my office. My mobile phone, any device with an internet connection is my office. So that's the way we guys are working. I mean, I'll give you a simple analogy. When you apply for, let's say, a student visa to come to New Zealand, do you think the immigration officer will actually invite you into their office and have an interview? No way. It is all an online process. You've got to apply for your admission in an online fashion, because most of the universities and institutions now have online portals. So that's where it happens. Your student visa application to New Zealand happens to the immigration website. That's an online process. At no point are you actually meeting an immigration officer. So we are, in so many ways, actually cloning exactly the same system. So why do you need an office in Sri Lanka? Ahmed, my office is everywhere. I mean, this is my office. About a month back, I was on a holiday in India, and I was sitting in a beach in Goa drinking a beer and doing my work. So my office at that moment was on that beach in Goa. So that's the way we guys work. All right. So yeah. So everybody watching, hey, look, just pick up your phones and send us an email, and you'll see the way we work seamlessly with you and make sure you come into New Zealand. And if anybody is doubting whether this is working or not working as a process, just get onto our AJV Global YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for AJV Global, which is our official channel. Of course, I have my own personal channel, but go to AJV Global or come to our Facebook page or to our group, and which is NZ Options is our group, and AJV Global is our page on Facebook, and check the number of testimonials that are already there from our students. It's not like we are holding a gun to the head and saying, give us these testimonials. These are all very genuinely happy students who have worked with us and found the process to be nice and simple. For instance, our team is based in New Zealand and in India, but we now have clients from Singapore, from Malaysia, from China, from Brazil, from Europe, and so many Middle East. How did all of them come and now are living in the same city and the country where I live? Is because we did this entire online process. So if you're cool people and you need a cool process, work with a cool company like AJV. All right. Raj Kumar Pan says, hi, Arun. Thank you for what you all are doing. You indeed have a great team. All of them are very much supportive, and I'm very comfortable working with them. Hey, Raj, thank you so much for that feedback. Really appreciate that feedback. And like I said, I don't have to sit here and keep talking about how good we are, as long as our wonderful clients like Raj and O'Neill and so many of you, Susan, Isaac, who asked me a query. everything happen, in a nice, seamless manner. So just trust the way things are happening in the new way, and we will take it forward from there. All right, cool. Talib Derek says, sir, any job opportunities for welders? Talib, there probably would be possibilities, but as I keep saying, trying to get direct employment in New Zealand is probably not going to be a very easy option. But send us your CV if you don't mind to one of those email addresses, and we will pick it up and see how we can help you. But I do think there could be some possibilities for welders. I mean, no disrespect to the profession, but we do tend to work mostly with people in the like the IT business, that kind of areas. But every once in a while, we do get a client who is a tradesperson, and yeah, we definitely take a look. Okay, so send us an email. Okay, Darshans, I have already answered. Daya Kiran, any opportunity in MTech and tool engineering jobs? Same thing, Daya. Like I said, jobs are not very easy to find directly in New Zealand when you're not here in this country. But hey, look, just send us your CV to that particular, uh, you know, uh, email addresses, and we will try and see what we can come back to you as advice. All right, cool. Okay, this is Emma Kens. Hi, Aaron. I'm Cho Hillary Scott Kimbang. Okay, with a recent offer at PhD Computer Systems Engineering at Auckland University. I wish to ask if computer systems engineering is in the long-term skills. Absolutely. I think I'm not sure if that particular course is in the skills shortage list, but information technology as a occupation, as an industry, is definitely there in a long-term skills shortage list. Okay. And Wency Steelson, not sure if she's working with AJV, but uh, I'm an MBA postgraduate from India. Is it to take early uh, uh, is it easy to take early childhood courses for me? And if I opt that course, is it possible for me to take my son with me? Hey, and I'm not sure if you have any background in teaching per se, because you seem to have MBA, postgraduate, obviously, and you're now planning to shift into early childhood education. I'm not entirely sure why you're wanting to do that. I don't know if somebody told you that there is a shortage for early childhood teachers in New Zealand, so on and so forth. So I'm not very comfortable when people switch subjects, especially at this particular level and stage. And I'd say be very careful. I would suggest maybe if your background has been in business all along and you've been a working professional in a business environment, I would say it probably makes sense, and it's a bit more prudent to stick to that particular line of activity rather than switching into early childhood education, which is an entirely new subject to you. But I don't know what your compulsions are. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know if you're genuinely interested in wanting to be an early childhood teacher and that's why you want to switch. If that is the case, I will be the last person to discourage you. But if that's not the case, then you're always better off to try and continue to do what you're doing, which is, if you've been in business for a while and you kind of, let's say you worked as a senior administrator or as a business professional in a good organization, that probably makes sense to just continue to keep going in that. So I don't know if you're working with our my team, but if you're not, please get in touch with the AJV team, and we will spend some more time. If required, it will come all the way up to me, and we will discuss if it is the right thing for you. As regards whether you can take your son with you, of course you can take your son with you. I mean, there's nothing to stop in taking your son with you. But again, it depends on how old is your son. Is he of school going age? If he's of school going age, then will he get domestic status or international student status? And the domestic status only occurs if you're also coming with your husband, and your husband gets a work visa. So there are a few issues and things about your scenario, I would strongly recommend get in touch with us and talk to us, and we will figure out each one of these things one step after the other. All right, cool. All right, guys. Looks like I'm probably coming to the end of my session here today, and yeah, I can see the number of people watching it are also dropping off. So I think they're by now bored of listening to my voice. Okay, one last question. Okay, let's say. Okay, this is one last question from Vaisak Garuda. Says, sir, my application is being processed from another agency, but I want AJV support. Is it possible? I'm ready to pay additional amount. Good question, Vaisak. Unfortunately, a lot of international students who do come to New Zealand eventually stumble upon one of my videos or these live sessions that I and my colleague Mary tend to do, and then they realize, oops, we did a mistake. We should have gone to these guys because they sound good, they sound very cool, they sound like they really genuinely want to help us. But by the time it's too late because they've already started their process with somebody else. We will definitely extend our support, Vaisak, to everybody who gets in touch with us after reaching New Zealand. But please bear in mind, we provide a lot of free services to our AJV students. I mean, that's the way of for us to say, hey, look, thank you for choosing us and deciding to give us your business. But for others, yeah, of course, we would still lend our support. And yeah, we do charge certain amount of professional fees. From non-AJV students. For AJV students, we offer a lot of services free of cost, but for non-AJV, we will charge some amount of professional fees and lend our support. So, hey, look, yeah, do get in touch with us. Guys and girls, before I go away, that's what you guys have to do if you are serious about coming into New Zealand and creating a future for yourself. Just, ping us on one of those numbers. If you're in India, that toll-free number, 1-800-103-6525, email, or if you're already in New Zealand and need some support, just send a text to Mary or send us an email and we will take it forward from there. Okay, guys, there's this for those of you who watch me regularly week after week. That means the time is up. But hey, look, sorry everybody else who's been asking me questions and I'm not able to answer them today's session, but we will definitely get in touch with you. As always, thanks for watching this live broadcast, and it's a absolute delight to sit here week after week and talk to you guys and girls and talk to provide information about how we can create a pathway into this beautiful country called Aotearoa, or the land of the long white cloud, also known as New Zealand. Good night till the next time. Bye bye.